Hello, I'm Raymond Galker, and welcome to Open House. This is community media, and we are celebrating the holidays. This is our special, and you've had a chance already to meet many people from the community and share with them their generosity and their hopes for the future. We have with us Tessa Adams, and she is with Adams County Children and Youth Services.
Yes, sir.
Tessa?
Yes.
Tessa, so tell us, where are you from?
Originally Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Williamsport,
You got it.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay, and what brought you to Adams County?
Goodness, you want the long story?
Yes, the long story.
Okay, the long story. So I'm originally from the Williamsport area, and then I went to Shippensburg University and graduated there in '08. I was offered a position with AmeriCorps as a VISTA, a volunteer in service to America. And so right out of undergrad, I supervised a mentoring program for at-risk high school students, and so the college freshmen were their mentors. After that year, I moved to Binghamton University, where I worked there as a resident director. And then after that, I actually had the opportunity to move abroad. So I lived in Italy for 3 years, and I worked with military students, military kids. I say military brats lovingly, and I started a mentoring program there because a lot of them did not know how to apply to colleges stateside because they had grown up overseas. And then what happened after Italy? I moved to South Carolina, where I got my Master's of Education and in school counseling, and I started a mentoring program during my internship for, again, at-risk youth who were middle school students, and the mentors were high school students. And I then started working at the University of South Carolina, supervising a youth advisory board that would they were advocates for other youth in foster care. And so we traveled throughout the state, changing laws and legislation and based on their voices. So it was really, really empowering. Unfortunately, that grant fell through, and so I lost my job right after I bought a house. And I decided to go ahead and sell my house and move back home after being away for 10 years. And so I posted on Facebook, and I said, hey friends, I've been away for 10 years, who has a job for me? And I had a girlfriend from the area who I actually did AmeriCorps with, who said, hey, Adams County Children and Youth Services are hiring for mentoring, and I think you'd be great. And so the rest is kind of history. That was just a year ago.
And you are great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
So it seems like everything you did in the last 10 years, you've been given back to the youth?
Oh yeah, youth is definitely where my heart is. I mean, I definitely, no matter what kind of job I found myself in, it was always youth-based, youth-centered. I love having a hand in molding, I guess, their minds and having them expand and mentoring them on my own. So youth is definitely, I think that's kind of, we all have to figure out what our purpose is here, and that's definitely what my purpose is on this earth, is to serve them.
Yes, and you're with a special program called Project Hope.
You got it, Project Hope.
Can you explain what that is?
Sure. So Project Hope is a mentoring program through Adams County Children and Youth Services. And so it's really interesting because there are plenty of mentoring programs, throughout Adams County, throughout Pennsylvania, throughout the nation. But there are only 2 mentoring programs that are actually through Children and Youth Services in Pennsylvania. And so Project Hope is one of them. And so our main mission is to find mentors for youth who are in foster care or formerly in foster care or other identified at-risk youth in the community. They can be referred from probation or from mental health, or even school counselors or whatnot could go ahead and make that referral for youth. But who we serve first and foremost are youth in foster care or formerly in foster care.
So about how many people are you serving right now?
As of right now, we have, well, I'll say it this way, because referrals are always coming in. By the start of 2018, I will have 10 youth, and I will have 4 mentors. So you can see that I'm always recruiting for mentors. That's the biggest part of my job, is to find volunteers in the area who also want to serve youth.
So I was going to ask you, what is your big hope for this year?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. So I've spent the last year really planting. I mean, a big part of my job, like I said, is recruitment and training, but it's also kind of sales. So I've been planting all these seeds, and in the past 3 months, I've just seen them kind of all come up at once. And so throughout the next year, I think that while I'll always be planting seeds, because as a program coordinator, you need to be doing that, I think I'm going to be like harvesting my crops.
Well, that's
so
great.
I need to, my biggest hope is to be able to walk into any of these shops that we see and have them know what Project Hope is, see a Project Hope, postcard, have them know that this is an opportunity for adults to give back as well as youth to participate in as well.
And you have 4 mentors right now?
I have 4 mentors right now.
And your hope is to have?
As many as I have youth. So I
Okay.
will have, I'll need about 6 more.
Six
as
more.
of right now. But like I said, those referrals for youth are always coming in.
Okay, so now this is a great opportunity.
Yes.
So you have someone that says, okay, I will give back to the community by helping one of your youth. And then what does that require from that individual?
That's the biggest question that I always get is, well, what is a mentor? Or I'll have my friends say, if they sit there and they would say they want to get involved in something, I always say, look into Big Brothers Big Sisters, look into mentoring, and I said, oh, Tessa, I'm in between jobs right now, or I don't have my college degree, or I got a divorce, I wouldn't be a good mentor. And it's like, you're crazy, everyone has a skill set that they're going to be able to give back to these youth. Even if you went through hard times, all the better, because if you came out a positive person, that shows a child, it's not what happens to you. You can still live a wonderful life and have a lot of opportunities. So the biggest part for mentors, something I started doing is as a mentee referral came in, depending on what they were interested in, I started doing intentional recruitment. So if a mentee came in and they were super interested in fishing and they wanted to be a teacher, I would go knock on teachers' walls as well as going to Dick's Sporting Goods and knock on their door. And I would say, hey, I have this program, I have this kid, they're 14 years old. Take them fishing, once a week for an hour. This is what they need. They just need that support system and just someone to go have fun with, to listen to them. I mean, it's easy for me to say it's not rocket science, but I understand that it is a skill set to want to give back and to want to invest in someone's life. But I think that once they start coming to my group events and they realize that I am alongside that mentor through the entire, the entirety of their time with Project Hope. So I'm training them, I'm talking with them. They're not, they're not alone in the whole process. And they start to realize that the volunteers get more out of it, the mentors get more out of the whole program than I think the mentees even do.
So you're a matchmaker.
I'm a matchmaker. I say that all the time. I say, Patty from Millionaire Matchmaker, I'm kind of like that, except for...
For you.
Yes.
And really, the mentor, if they just give them their attention and their time,
Yes.
would mean so much to that individual.
Yes. There's a story that I have. A lot of people aren't wanting to sign up and just give away their one-on-one time. They want to test the waters, right? And it's so funny because adults remind me of what it's maybe like in high school. Like they're worried, like, is anyone going to sit with me kind of thing? And meanwhile, I'm working with 13 to 21-year-olds who are worried about the same thing. So something I started doing was group mentoring. And so I would go out to different organizations. And so I had went out to CrossFit, actually, here, CrossFit Gettysburg. And I had said, listen, I have some young men who really want to mentor. Would you be interested in working with me? And so the owner said yes, like he couldn't wait to. So for 7 weeks, they met for 1 hour. And after the youth participated in that, there was just 2 times that this young man participated with the owner. And he got in my car and he said, Miss Tessa, I know what I want to be, when I grow up. And I was like, oh, what do you want to be? And he said, I'm going to go to Marines and then I'm going to open up a CrossFit. And that's exactly what the owner of CrossFit did. So just 2 hours spent with this young man and sharing about his life, this young man's whole career path was opened up and wanted to do that.
They saw a different option.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes. And that's what my mentors do, is we show them different doors that they can open, different choices they can make, and not to give up on them.
Now, do you have a special instance where you made a difference in someone's life that you could share with us? I mean, it's...
Oh, goodness. Gosh, I wish this was where everyone started coming in saying, you made a difference this way.
Well, you don't even have to know it. They don't even have to know it.
Right.
I mean, anything that happened that you thought was special as you went about matchmaking.
The first thing that comes to mind is when I don't have a mentor for the youth, I sort of serve as a mentor to them in the meantime. And so one of my youth has 2 siblings, and they don't always get along, and that's just how it is to be a sibling. Mm-hmm. And again, with them being in foster care or formerly in foster care or just an at-risk youth, maybe the home life isn't so great or what have you. And so they weren't getting along, and the siblings were much younger. And so I encouraged the older sibling, the one that I'm working with, to read to them at night. And I didn't think that they were ever going to do that. I didn't think they were going to actually listen to me, but it hurt my heart that they weren't being read to at night, or maybe they were, but I didn't think so. And so long story long, the youth came back to me and said that they were reading to them at night. And so I would be giving them, I have a girlfriend who's a counselor, and so she would give me books, Bernstein Bears books of all books. And till this day, when I see the siblings, they'll tell me the next book that their older sibling had had read to them. So that's the difference. When I can teach someone that they can pay it forward, no matter what they have, no matter what clothes they have on their back or what money they don't have in their bank account, you can always give someone something.
Yeah, and that relationship bonded in a way that would never have bonded
I hope
over
so.
reading. Oh, you know so.
I hope
you
so,
know
yeah,
so.
yeah.
So, how are you funded?
Okay, so we have a state grant, but then we also do fundraising or take donations because there's certain things that the grant can't fulfill. So for example, the independent living unit, we have apartments for youth who find themselves homeless after 18. And so those are some of the things that our donations fund.
So, if someone would like to help you out by giving you some money, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, that's great. Can I just give them my email address?
If you want to give your email address out, you may.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So it'll be projecthope@adamscounty.us.
Okay. Thank you for being on our show, and I hope you have a nice holiday.
Thank
and
you, you
I hope
too.
this year you are able to harvest many mentors, and that the community benefits from everything you have to offer.
Thank you.
Because Tessa, you have a lot to give, and your energy is phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
So, on behalf of Community Media and Tessa, we hope that all of you have the best holiday and that this year is awesome. Thank you.